Each section of the face is broken up into its own little area on the HUD. Each one of these numbers represents a different animation. When a number is lit up green, it means it's taken into consideration when the animations get randomized each cycle. It's a random cycle between 3 and 13 seconds, I think it is. And then once that cycle completes, it chooses the next set of animations that it's going to use. If we switch the HUD on, it would now cycle all of these options. If you don't like a particular animation, you can switch them all off like this, and then they won't be chosen. The left hand side of the tongue area is the tongue height. High is kind of the middle of the road height. If I change it to highest, you'll see it take effect when the next animation cycle begins. The tongue should raise up. Hopefully this won't be one of the long cycles. There we go. So if you find that the tongue is clipping into the lip for some reason, or you just want the tongue to be higher for a certain pose, this is what you would do. By default it should come on the high setting. This little area here is probably the least intuitive section of the HUD, the mouth width. If you imagine this line here to be the corner of the mouth, the arrows moving to the right make the mouth wider, the arrows moving to the left make the mouth narrower. It works on both sides, but I've kind of put the buttons on this side of the HUD because I'm referencing this corner of the mouth. So if I was to choose this arrow here, next time the animation cycle begins, you'll notice that the mouth moves in and becomes smaller. There we go. The different rows here represent a height of the mouth. If I choose this one up here, the corner of the mouth will be higher. If we choose this one down here, the corner of the mouth will be lower. And these all loop. So if you wanted to include them in a random selection, you could literally just put all of these on and it would choose a different one for each cycle, but you would have a random mouth position, and probably the corners of the tongue corners of the lips would intersect with the tongue, etc. But the option is there should you wish. The lower lip section raises the lower lip up, the same principle as the tongue. So if we choose this arrow here, next time the cycle begins, the lower lip will raise up. So if you want to close up the gap below your tongue, or you move your tongue up and you want to move the lip up as well, you have the option. Again, these will be chosen at random. If you select all of them, it will randomly choose one of them. The zeros in each of the options represent no animation at all. So these basically give you greater variation. Say you wanted to smile occasionally and you selected that arrow there, that would make the mouth slightly wider, or a bit wider like that. If you also put the 0, then there's going to be a random chance for it to be a little bit smiley, or to have no animation at all on the corner of the mouth and just use the mouth animation that comes in with the tongue. So think of the zeros as just no animation at all, but just for a bit more variation. I generally like to keep those on. And I think that is about it. And obviously we've got the power button. If you've got any questions, you can always IM me in World. Now the texture face of the HUD, I'm sure a lot of you will be familiar with anyway, because it's the same principle as the tears and draw that I make. You can, let's turn it on so we can actually see it. You can choose textures, etc. And what I've done this time around is make the standard textures cover the tongue with a false shine, and version 2 of the texture gets rid of the base texture on the tongue. It leaves the shine, but just basically includes the drawl section at the tip of the tongue. And version 3 gets rid of that shine, should you want to use that for some reason to see the ugly little tongue. Most of them are similar, but except for the black and red and white, obviously. The white is, you know what? Seminal fluid. The black is, I don't know, oil, something. And the red is obviously blood or syrup or whatever you want it to be. The drawl frequency dictates how often this will drip. So if we put that onto slow, it won't start dripping as fast. It will wait between drips, and the speed is how fast it drips down. We have this angle option, which you can't see through my hair anyway, but if we were to push this here, it would make the drawl angle out further. So if your general standing around poses are slightly hunched forwards, you can use that, and vice versa. If you wanted to go backwards a little bit, there's that option. You can freeze using the snowflake, because the frequency's on slow. It's taking its time now. Come on. So yeah, you can freeze the drawl using that, and you can make the drawl invisible if you just wanted to have the tongue animations going without the drawl. You can also have different opacity choices for your drawl, if you want to use it on, say, 40 or something like that. And if you want to turn the bump and shine off, you toggle this off. The way it works at the moment is you have to reselect the texture to make it apply that choice. So if you decide you want shine on again, you just reapply the same texture and then it would apply. I haven't got any lights around on the sim at the moment, so can't really see anything, any change. And I believe that is all of the functions of the HUD. One useful addition I've made with the new update is to include these two gestures for deactivating and activating the drawl. As you may or not be aware, you don't actually have to have the HUD attached for the drawl to continue animating once you've made your selections. So if you activate these two gestures by right clicking and activating, if I open them both up, you can see what they're doing. The default chat commands are /Ahegao start, /Ahegao stop. So if I type /Ahegao stop, the drawl stops. If I type /Ahegao start, the drawl starts again. You can change these chat commands to anything you like, or change it to a keybind if you prefer. If you want to do it via a script, you can use this channel and these commands. If you need any help with anything, give me a shout in World.